The Pro Board actually is involved with accrediting institutions that train and certify firefighters and other related disciplines. We'll actually go into that institution that does the training and testing and certify that the testing and training is being conducted in accordance with national standards, the National Fire Protection Association standards, and the policies and procedures of the Pro Board, and give them a stamp of approval that the requirements are being met. That institution will then be able to certify individuals as opposed to the institution, and certify that they have met a standard that is prescribed by the National Fire Protection Association. They have met the proper requirements and procedures of the Pro Board, and in essence they get a stamp of approval. So it's the institution gets the accreditation from the Pro Board, the individual gets the certification from the training institution.
It starts by completing a self-study document. Self-study document has 13 criterion. Each criterion can have between 2 and 21 subpoints, so it's quite exhaustive criterion that has to be met, and it forces you to look inward, the self-study document, and examine all your processes. And you want to make sure that your testing is fair, it's equitable, that it's open and accessible to anybody that wants to get certification, that results are consistent across the board, and that people are being judged by the same yardstick.
Part of the reason that we like the Pro Board process is because it gives us the ability to be able to go out and look at the training and how it measures up against the job performance requirements in the NFPA standards.
The self-study document and everything that goes into the preparation for that is one of the best tools that we ever had for an introspective look at our system. The site visit team takes your self-study document, the documentation you've supplied to them, and comes and looks at your system. And they inspect your system to see, in fact, that what you have put in your self-study document is, in fact, what you're doing in practice.
So we basically give them a stamp of approval and say that they have met the requirements of the National Fire Protection Association's standards and the policies and procedures of the Pro Board itself.
The federal government has developed a system of credentialing that is being used on a voluntary basis, and that allows people from one area of the country to go to another area of the country and assist in a large-scale disaster such as the recent hurricanes. The Pro Board certification meets this credentialing requirements and allows people from one jurisdiction to go to another jurisdiction and lend a hand when we have these large-scale national emergencies.
What a great way and an easy way to quickly identify qualified people who can help to mitigate the emergency.
The federal government, through the Department of Homeland Security, is now in the process of mandating credentialing of fire and emergency services personnel for any federalized event.
Those people who get in on the ground floor now and are certified by an accredited institution and become a part of the National Registry, hopefully there will be identification means carried by each of the first responders that will immediately tell the level of training, tell whether or not they've been certified, and exactly what their home department is.
Programs that are not accredited, that don't lead to some type of national certification, we've seen a drop-off in attendance over the years for those programs, and more demand for those accredited programs so people can get their certifications.
From the standpoint of recruitment, many small departments rely solely upon an individual's certification before they'll even look at him. From the recruitment aspect, again, that brings in the individuals that are interested in the vocation. You continue to use accredited programs. They continue to be certified so they maintain their interest in the organization.
We've had students come in from out of state and pay money to take our classes so they can get their certification. We're seeing more and more DoD personnel come through our programs because the DoD has requirements now for certification for their personnel. So people are willing to pay money out of their own pocket to come in and pay for our training programs because we can offer that certification.
We have everyone from the 16 or 17-year-old that's taking their very first class to the seasoned veteran to people that are DoD, and it's important for them to come in, take the training that they need to keep up on the newest things. Everything changes in the fire department. You never know what's going to be the next new thing. So regardless of how much training you've had, you can never have enough.
Virtually anyone associated with the fire service can benefit from having national certification, be it somebody from a small rural fire department to the most metropolitan fire departments. The people in the fire service are all facing dangers. And this certification is an indication that they have been trained and they have demonstrated their competency.
Certifications help everyone meet the same standard. It helps us have confidence in each other. If I know that we all have the same certifications, then I know that we should all be taking the same steps and the same precautions. As
an institution, it's the best marketing tool we have. The fire service has evolved to the year 2006 where if you're not offering some type of certification, fire service in general doesn't want to attend your programs. You have to have some level of outside approval for what you're doing, and by offering classes that have been and testing that's been accredited by the Pro Board, we're able to offer people the opportunity to get their Pro Board certification. This allows them several things.
Portability is a big issue with our members. The Odin Volunteer Fire Company is located next to Fort Meade, which houses a large defense installation. Many of our members come through that agency. They come in from other states. They might have training and certification from other states that we can readily accept if it's Pro Board. Our members who come up through our program may want to transfer into other departments, get a job for a federal fire department or a local county fire department. Professional certification allows our members the ability to transfer that certification, that training to other agencies without taking all the training over again from scratch.
And we're seeing people go from one department to another and having 2 or 3 changes of employment during the course of their career. Having Pro Board certification certainly helps facilitate that transferability.
As far as members of my fire company go, I know that there are several that have used certification to get jobs as federal firefighters, to apply for municipal fire departments in other jurisdictions and have been accepted. Some jurisdictions hire specifically looking for Pro Board certification, and when our members have that in hand, that is a huge benefit to them when they're looking for a job.
It helps the hiring process. That's one of the first things the department will look for, is that you show the initiative to take the classes and that you have the knowledge. It also helps moving up in the ranks, becoming lieutenants, captains, chiefs.
I think the Pro Board certifications have meant a great deal in terms of advancement and in being able to move within the ranks in the department as well as in other organizations. And I think the Pro Board represents the achievement of an individual and gives them that credential in order for them to be recognized for their accomplishments.
Our members have to be certified to meet the same requirements as the career members of the department. From firefighter through fire officer, they're meeting the same certification requirements. Certification, therefore, is a driving force for our members to be recognized within the wider county department, to recognize their professionalism and their training on an equal basis with career members.
It makes the job a lot easier and a lot smoother for the employees to have Pro Board certifications. You can't go wrong by doing that as an individual because it helps yourself and everybody along the line, whether it's the agency you're with or the agency you want to go to in the future.
Well, the National Registry is, in essence, a data bank that the Professional Qualifications Board maintains, and we have over 250,000 listings of people who have met the requirements for certification from an accredited institution. A potential employer, supervisor, or someone who has responsibility for this particular job that a person is seeking can go to the internet and actually search that person's name out and see what level of qualifications they've been trained to.
The Pro Board National Registry is a method that I can use in order to verify training, look up certification. Someone tells me that they have that on an application or in a request for promotion. I can go to the registry and find out whether or not they have that, and I can see all of the certifications that an individual possesses. It's a tremendous tool in helping us to make decisions about promotions and about who should be put into what programs.
We have jurisdictions that hire people that are on the National Registry that will bypass much of their recruit training, and they're able to come in and start working in the department after a couple weeks orientation and be on the street fighting fires within a month of being hired, as opposed to the usual 3 or 4 months of recruit training.
There's no list or anything else that can take you through the doors like the Pro Board list can. If you're on that list of accreditation and you go to an agency that's on that list, you've already got that major hurdle out of your way. They're already looking at you as a good hire.
The public expects its first responders to be professional. In order to be professional, you have to be accredited and have individual certifications.
The way to offer certifications is to become accredited. By becoming accredited, organizations can meet the needs of their constituency.